love this turtle. They are so nice. That makes sense. We can't start at all this year.
Yeah, we're all good.
Like it's midnight.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the meeting of the City of Pleasant Hill Architectural Review Commission for Thursday, November 20th, 2025. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. And now the roll call, please.
Commissioner Brandis, Commissioner Weir,
Here.
and Chair Nelson.
Here. Next on the agenda is public comment. This is an opportunity for any member of the public to speak on an item that is under the purview or jurisdiction of this commission, but is not on tonight's agenda. So is there anyone in attendance who would like to speak on an item not on the agenda tonight? All right, seeing no one, we'll close public comment and move on to adoption of minutes. We have two. The first would be adopting the minutes for our September 4th, 2025 meeting. Do we have, or only, how many of us?
I can really quickly check. I can't remember who is here on September 4th.
I don't think we have enough. I don't think we're here.
I don't-
I wasn't here.
There you go.
Do we need
Just a majority
of
vote.
who are here
Yes.
or the whole? Okay, so
Nope, just who's
just
here.
in attendance. Okay, then let's take up the meetings of September 4th. Anyone have a motion?
I move we accept the minutes.
Okay, I'll second.
Commissioner Brandis,
Yes.
Commissioner Weir,
Abstain.
and Chair Nelson.
Yes. And now the minutes for October 30th, 2025.
I'll move to approve the minutes for October 30th, 2025.
I seconded.
Commissioner Brandis,
Yes.
Commissioner Weir,
Yes.
and Chair Nelson.
Yes. Next is public hearings. We have one this evening. Permit number ENT 2025-0026 Vista Paint Architectural Review Permit and Sign Permit, 1725 Contra Costa Boulevard. Do we have a staff presentation?
Yes, thank you. So tonight I will be presenting a AR permit and sign permit request by Vista Paint, a new paint store located at 1725 Contra Costa Boulevard in the previous Kelly Moore Paints location. They are requesting after the fact review of exterior building color modifications consisting of red painted architectural trim that you see in this first photo, which was painted on 3 sides of the store. And they're also requesting an addition of 4 new signs with the Vista Paint name and logo to be located in the same places and dimensions as the previous Kelly Moore Paint signs as well. So here's the project location. It's on the west side of Contra Costa Boulevard, north of Vivian Drive. Here is an aerial view. The top left is the front, and it's this side of the building on the right side of that view, going to this back side and around. And you can see the red painted columns from this aerial view going all the way to here. Here is the north side view, which is the right side of the storefront that has red painted columns as well. And here is the rear side, the rear of the building, where you can see the red painted columns as well. And in the very left-hand side of this image, hopefully I can get to it, you can see where the monument sign is located. That will be in discussion in future slides for the signs. So here is the street view of 1725 Contra Costa Boulevard. You can see the building is shared with one other tenant, Kids and Cribs, on the left side. Here's a closer look at Kids and Cribs that shares the building. This is a street, Google Street View, so the column to the right side has not been painted red yet, but currently that column is red, the one that's shared between the two businesses, and you'll see that in a future slide. And that is here. Here's that slide. That left-hand column there is the one that separates Vista Paint from Kids and Cribs. This picture is the existing paint conditions. The Kelly Moore Paint sign is currently covered by a temporary sign for Vista Paints that was approved through the city. So still just talking about the exterior color modifications here in these slides. So this is the north side of the building, which is their right side. If you're facing them from Contra Costa Boulevard, has been painted as well. And this is the rear side of the building where it's been painted a little more than halfway on the rear. So the design guidelines are part of the conversation today because the proposed exterior building paint color modification does not comply with the following two citywide design guidelines. And this was told to the applicant, and they decided they'd like to seek ARC discussion. And these are the non-residential design guidelines that we feel they do not meet, which is that corporate colors and materials should be minimized where possible. Design should relate to the existing surrounding neighborhood and small town feel, and appropriate colors should be used on buildings. So for discussion in relation to these design guidelines that were outlined, this use of a corporate red color on the building, we are requesting ARC discussion. The use of corporate red color on the building and whether a more muted, non-corporate color would be more appropriate and comply with the city design guidelines. And we'd also request discussion on whether an application of a different exterior trim color for each tenant space on the same building, discussing the fact that now there is a different exterior trim color for each of the tenant spaces within the same building. So the new red is different than Kids and Cribs, which is a different color. Where the existing building has a distinct unifying architectural style throughout. We'd also like to discuss non-compliance with the citywide design guidelines. So I hope that second discussion item was clearly described. So now, moving to the proposed signs. There are 4 proposed signs on the north-facing side, on the north side of the building. They're proposing to put a new face on an existing cabinet sign. They are proposing to reface an east-facing wall sign and an existing monument sign that is shared with Kids and Cribs, and a blade sign that sticks out on the front side of the storefront, which is a double-sided sign. I'd like to point out that 3 of the signs are this white background, and then this one would be the one you'd be looking at for the blade sign with the black background. So these are the existing conditions of 2 of the signs. The north-facing cabinet sign is proposed to look similar to what it looks like now with the temporary sign that's up for Vista Paint. It would be a more permanent flat plastic sign with vinyl applied. The applicant is also proposing to paint the border, which is currently blue. They'd like to paint it red. And this is on the right side, the sign that faces Contra Costa Boulevard. It's a sort of raised material, not exactly a cabinet, but raised from the wall. They're proposing to add a plastic backer panel with applied vinyl on this raised sign as well. So to discuss these 2 previous signs, I'd like to mention design guidelines consistency. The proposed signs comply with these top 2 design guidelines, which are that, the proposed signs effectively advertise the businesses to passersby, and the message is simple and concise. Staff feels that the proposed signs do not comply with colors, readability, and compatibility section of the design guidelines, which recommend that signs have a dark background with light text. So proposed signs discussion items that we'd like to bring up today are the proposed signage compliance with the design guidelines, as mentioned in the previous slide, the use of a white backer panel for the proposed sign on the east elevation and the monument sign in lieu of individual letters. That is what's being proposed. So we'd like to discuss whether individual letters might be more appropriate. And we'd also like to discuss the proposed painting of the proposed painting of the cabinet signs border from blue to red. Staff recommends that the commission discuss the points raised in this staff report and provide direction to staff. If the commission finds the proposal acceptable and can make the findings in attachment A, staff recommends the commission accept the exemption from CEQA for this project and approve the project, subject to the attached conditions of approval that require a more muted exterior building color and signage modifications to better comply with the citywide design guidelines, with any modifications that may be directed by the ARC. Thank you.
All right, thanks for that report. Any questions for staff?
Not right now.
I have a couple. The first one, any notice from the landlord on the approval? This might be for the applicant, but was there any landlord feedback?
The only thing that I know is that the landlord signed the application for the exterior color modifications to come here for ARC review, but I haven't heard any other statements from the owner.
The rest of mine are for the applicant. Thanks.
There's also a paint sample in front of you as well, just to make sure everyone saw that. It's Party Time Red by Vista Paint.
Party time?
Party Time.
All right. My question might also be for the applicant. Why, on the back of the building, the west side, where the red stops, is that because the city intervened and said this has to stop? Or, because it seems a little bit arbitrary. Like if it were more at the halfway point of the building, it would, to me, look better, or if it went all the way, it would look better, but it's so lopsided. So I'm wondering how we came to stop where it is on the west side.
The paint color was noticed,
Yeah.
was brought to the attention of city staff after it was already applied. So it was applied as the applicant saw fit.
Okay. Thanks. But I think Commissioner Weir answered my question. Okay, I don't think have any other questions at the moment. Thank you. All right, so then we'll open the public hearing and invite first and foremost the applicant or their representative to come and speak. You really have time to say whatever you'd like, supplement staff's report. I think we might have some questions, it sounds like. So if you'd like, someone would like to come on up to the podium. Please identify yourself for the record and fill out a green, they're green, right? Speaker cards?
We don't need a speaker card for the applicant, though.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Never mind. Please identify yourself though.
My name is Cynthia Schmidt. I am the area manager for the Bay Area for Vista Paint and also an outside sales rep as well for Vista Paint.
Thank you.
Okay. What's the question?
Well, I mean, the floor is yours. If there's anything you'd like to add, and then if there's nothing you'd like to add, we'll ask questions.
I'd like to address your question about the rear of the building. When we didn't know we couldn't paint it red. We didn't know we needed permission. I talked to the owner of the building and I said, can we paint the outside of the building? And he said, I don't care what you paint it. You can paint the whole thing if you want. He didn't care. So we didn't think that it was fair to force our color onto Kids and Cribs. And so the breaking point right there by the brick, we felt was distinct enough to distinguish Vista from Kids and Cribs. Around the back of the building, the painters didn't follow my instruction where I said to stop painting to where it would be equal pillars on both sides. That's why the one extra is painted on accident by the painter. So we do know that if the red is accepted by the city, we will repaint that back to its original color. So it will be even on both sides around the building. So that is the painter's bad right there.
Great.
He didn't listen to me where I said to stop. So that's where that is. Vista Paint is obviously new to Northern California. They are based in Southern California. They decided to come up here and expand into the Bay Area when Kelly Moore unfortunately closed very unexpectedly. I worked for Kelly Moore for 25 years, so it was very abrupt and very brutal to us. So we were very, very grateful when Vista decided to come up here. And we pushed to take this location. I specifically pushed to take this location. Kelly Moore was a staple in Pleasant Hill for over 20 years. Even before then, it was Dean Pierce. So it's always been a paint store. And red just happens to be Vista's brand color. It is very known that if you visit the other 3 Bay Area locations, the exteriors all the way around the buildings are red. In Antioch, in San Lorenzo, and San Pablo are all red, where they were previously blue from Kelly Moore, because Kelly Moore colors were blue and yellow. So we would just like to have our brand color be recognized on the building. I understand that it's just the belly bands or the pillars. The whole building is not red. I do recognize that it is a very strong color. You do see it from a mile away. But we would like to keep it for that reason because it is our brand color. But of course, we will comply with whatever the city wants. This is actually the material of the signs. I did bring that so you could see that. And it is, most of their signs are the white background, which I guess would be very visible, being that it's white. But I also don't see an issue with flip-flopping it to where the background was black, very much like the blade sign that you see on the description of the signs, of making them all black with the, where the letters are red and then have, yeah, that one. Making them all black, if that seems to be more acceptable to the city. I mean, I think it still looks nice being the black background with the white, but other than that, that's it.
Okay, thanks. Then questions?
I do have a question. So you did answer my question that you have 3 other locations and they all have the red branding. Does the landlord have any sign requirements as far as having yours be similar to Kids and Cribs, or there's no specifications
No,
for
there was
signs?
none given to me by the landlord. No, he didn't say, we just told him we obviously wanted to, we didn't want to make them any bigger or any smaller than the current existing signs. We didn't think that that was necessary. We just wanted to basically move the Kelly Moore and put the exact same dimensions, exact same size, everything up in the exact same places. We didn't want them moved or anywhere else. And he said that was fine. So he didn't have any basically requirements of it needed to be smaller or it needed to be bigger or anything like that. No. You're welcome. And the reason the thing is still blue is because I told the painters to stop. Well, you can't paint any more red right now.
I have a few questions regarding the neighboring tenant. Any feedback from them? I mean, I know if they had a strong opinion, they'd probably submit a letter or be here or say something, but just curious.
I tried to go over there a couple times, but her hours are really weird where you have to make an appointment or when she's not there. So I didn't actually speak to her to know. The landlord did tell me that she didn't plan on renewing her lease with him. So he did say I probably would get a new neighbor. He didn't say, you know, if it was like in the next 6 months or whatever. He just said she wasn't going to renew her lease with him. So I don't really know how long that plans to be there.
Okay, and one other just kind of design question with the blade sign, the intention of it black versus matching the rest of it. Is it just for attention grabbing or?
Yeah, more than anything, because it's really tiny and it just comes out. It's currently black right now.
Got it.
Just because it blacked out over where it said Kelly Moore. So it's been blacked out, but yeah, I mean, I kind of like the distinction of the black. And I made that decision to have it be black be different than the other three?
I can't remember. I don't think it's not a lit sign, right? There's no like
It's just-
downlight
it's
like the
just a
rest of the
metal-
building.
Yeah, just a metal
Okay.
blade. The only one that is lit is the cabinet sign on the side, and it has a timer built into it to where it's set to come on when it gets dark.
Okay.
So,
And my final question, have you considered a red background with white writing? I know a lot of our logos in the city have that and it is still very visible.
mhm.
And I'm just thinking when we discuss as a group colors, having a red background on the sign with white writing will comply a little bit better with
Right.
the rules.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem. Again, red is a brand color, so having the background red is not an issue as long as you can see the Vista paint sign there. So just flip-flopping the colors. And I'm sure the design company wouldn't have any problem adjusting that for us.
Okay,
But yeah.
okay.
I don't think I have any questions. Actually, could you leave the last frame up? Thank you.
This is specific to the sign, so let me know if you would like me to go to the one about the exterior color modification as well.
Okay, thank you. I understand wanting to do as little work as possible. I'll say personally, the east-facing sign not being over the door, every time I drive by there, it just is annoying. I thought we had something in the design guidelines about the location of signs relative to entryways, and am I wrong about that?
I believe that is in the design guidelines. I think in this case, since they were proposing to reface an existing sign, that's why we moved forward with the plans as proposed, or with presenting the plans as proposed.
Okay. Would you be?
Wanted to move it because we didn't want to structurally change the building at all. And if you take that sign down where it currently says Kelly Moore, we don't know what's behind it or the condition
Right.
of the building behind it, which could require having it re-stuccoed. It could tear down the stucco. I mean, there's a lot of involved in that. So
Mhm.
removing it seems more detrimental to the structure or the building structurally than it would be just to face it and put a new sign right over where the existing one already was.
Yeah, I mean, I would hate for that for the repair to be very obvious and look worse
yeah.
than,
After 20 years.
yeah, right.
And an eyesore if it was, yeah, and if I didn't have a stucco guy
Yeah,
patch it perfectly to the existing,
Yeah.
it would be an eyesore.
understood. Okay, thank you. All right, we still have an open public hearing. So is there anyone else here who would like to speak on this item? Looks like we have someone else coming up. And sir, I would ask you to fill out a speaker card that's on the back you can do it after you speak, but before you leave, please.
Good evening, Commission. My wife and I are new homeowners on East Vivian, and we walk by the paint store all the time. I think the brand color is important. And the other thing is, I would suggest either doing the perimeter completely around the building or in the rear, eliminate it completely. That way you don't have the breaks as much, and it will look more pleasing, I would think. That's all I need to say.
Thank you. And do you mind stating your name for the?
Oh, yeah, Scott Farquharson.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Would anyone else like to speak on this item? All right, seeing no one, will close the public hearing and bring it to the commission for discussion. Who would like to begin?
I personally feel that the red color is jarring and is not aesthetically pleasing with the building. I would rather see it more the same color as Kids and Cribs.
I'm aligned with that, and my recommendation would be to shy away from the brand and use the signage as the red pop for the color, using that red background, white white border. I think that would allow still the color pop of the brand without taking away from the whole building. I live in the area, I drive by it daily too, and it definitely pops at me every time. Great for, seeing it, but a little aggressive for the area and, the overall aesthetic of Pleasant Hill, that downtown area.
Well, looks like I'm outvoted because I was going to say the opposite.
Oh.
Excuse me. Would you mind going back to the slide where it talks about the paint and it being consistent? Because there's a statement in there that here, thank you. Design should relate to the existing, okay, corporate colors and materials should be minimized. I don't know. I guess, that first bullet, there are two sentences there, but design and colors aren't the same, but I feel like it almost implies like color is inconsistent with small town feel. First of all, we're a city of over 30,000 people in the middle of 7 million. I don't know how small town we are anymore, but, I do feel like there's this sort of war on color in the suburbs, and you look at these these palettes for projects and it reads like a Starbucks menu, mocha, all these derivatives of coffee and and all these espresso or grays and whatnot. And I feel like is it at the Sonesta Hotel? I mean, they came up with some signs, I think, if I remember correctly, are kind of blue and orange or something. They're more like the wayfinding signs and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like all too often there's just sort of a negative reaction to buildings that have colors on them. I don't know how we got to that point in the suburbs, but that's my 2 cents. I'm okay actually with the red. I don't like where it ends in the back. I actually have thought about the same thing as the speaker, that maybe it should be the whole building or drawn back to where it was described as going back to on the west side, so it was kind of more even. But that's my feeling on the building color. I guess we need to discuss the signs and how they should appear. And the cabinet, maybe the cabinet's the easiest thing. Should it be red? I mean, I would think, I don't have a problem with it being red.
I don't have a problem with that either. I think that would be fine.
I don't either. To paint it from blue to red, that makes sense.
All right, that's simple. One down. And then the signs themselves.
I don't see, I agree with what we all discussed, and I've been through it too, where we've had to patch and paint an existing sign and it's been a nightmare and expensive. So I think leaving it in the existing location with this specific example should
I
be the
agree with that.
exception. The color choices are fine too. My recommendation with the red was to compromise if we wanted to remove the red borders, that would still allow for a big branding of the color.
Which red borders?
Like all the trim.
Oh, all the
Yeah, and
trim,
the belly
all the
band.
trim.
Yeah. That being said, the red is just jarring to me. I don't know if there's any issues with fire line safety, but that's the first thing I think of when I drive by it. Like I kind of got confused, like, can you park there? Which is just, it was silly, but still, I do think the red's a little bright. If we do agree to keep the red, I'd want to see it consistent across the whole building though.
I
think
agree with you. I
that
think
would be-
that's part of the problem, is that the building's divided, and so it doesn't look like a cohesive unit.
These are such cool architectural features though, that I hate that the red kind of takes away from me. If it was a different color, I don't know, like I hear what you're saying about like a nice color, like a color pop. But
See, I don't mind the color on Kids and Cribs either, the existing color.
The
Yeah,
yellowish?
I mean, fine with either one. Is there somewhere in the middle here where it's like, I feel, and maybe we should describe this more up on the screen so everyone can see, but I feel like the vertical elements, the columns, like I know that they already pop. They're the most prominent part of it. But I feel like if there was some sort of in between, that I feel like those would I feel like would be where to keep it and eliminate it from the horizontal elements.
Yes, and the belly band is what bothers me the most at the bottom, right? That's the belly band, the base. Yeah, yeah. I think if, I wish I had my pens here with me, my colors. If we were to kind of meet in the middle, if we had to, I would recommend we remove that, the belly band color and paint it to the same colors.
Just the bottom or all three belly bands?
Initially the bottom, but I would agree with you on all three too. I think just the red vertical.
But it seems to me if we have just 4 columns here that don't match with the ones that are next door, it's going to look not cohesive.
Wouldn't be a problem either with the columns, to make it more.
Yeah, the
line
owner,
building
the owner
versus-
said we could paint the whole building and he owns.
The
whole
landlord
building.
would agree to
He
that?
owns the whole building, yeah. I don't think that, I guess it would be up to him, right? I mean, not.
Sorry, we need-
I'm sorry. Thanks for reminding me. If you could come up to the mic, please.
If the tenant from Kids and Cribs objected, but the owner said, no, I want it painted red, I mean, is it his decision? If he decides he wants it painted red?
I
to
would
be
recommend you just get that, put it in writing and get the landlord approval, and landlord will probably reach out to the tenant. That's
okay.
most likely what should happen.
Oh,
Just
okay.
depending on what's in their lease and how it's written, just
Right.
while they're a tenant.
I mean, I get that the building to you doesn't look cohesive because it's not the same, but I think it also is important to know that there are 2 separate businesses there. That when you drive by it, you don't think that that's one whole business or that the whole building is Vista or the whole building is Kids and Cribs. The red gives you that distinction that there are 2 separate businesses there. In my opinion. But I do agree with.
But that is what the signs are for also, the
Right,
exterior
yeah.
signage.
Yeah, exactly. But I do agree with the red on the bottom because we did discuss that as a group when we were talking about painting, if we should leave it the brown that it was, or we actually thought about painting it black to where it kind of almost like it disappeared. If you painted it black, kind of blended in better. But I do agree the bottom maybe kind of makes it look boxy, if that makes sense when I
Yeah.
say that. To get rid of the bottom belly band.
I like the way Kids and Cribs looks with all of it, the way it breaks it all up, like those colors. But
Yes.
but they're not so visible. I mean, it's just, it nicely, the vertical and the horizontal kind of breaks up all the elements of it and accentuates those different elements. It's so I'm kind of torn here because I like the way the paint's applied on that, but I don't think applying this bright red has the same benefit.
Right.
It goes
And
too
that's my
far.
feelings as
Yeah,
well,
and so
yes.
it's like what to do with it. It's because then okay, so the horizontal, what do they become? Just the same color, and then they kind of all bleed together, which is not what happens next door at Kids and Cribs.
Right.
This is just an observation too, but the 2 outside columns are a little bit larger than the 2 interior ones too. So I think that's part of what kind of throws me off is in the middle, it's equal on this side, but with the Kids and Cribs, it's not because that column is shared.
Yeah.
So again, I guess I'm just iterating my need for the consistency of the trim, just to make the building cohesive, even though I understand the wanting to separate the 2 tenants.
Right.
Now, I wonder, okay, so Kids and Cribs is leaving at some point, is what we understand. Okay, so a new tenant comes in and they say, well, these are my corporate colors. I want to paint my portion of the building, right? And so, which is, I think, we can go around in circles on this all day. It's like, which is maybe why a neutral color across the whole thing is the best. So,
Which is why I think it was, because I was with Kelly Moore, obviously, when we painted it, the colors that it currently is before the red. So that's why the whole building was repainted
Mhm.
cohesively the same.
mhm.
I honestly don't remember if they were 2 separate colors before, but I remember when it was painted to that scheme.
Yeah. I don't know, I think I'm starting to convince myself. it should just-
Yeah, I think Will brings up a good point, because if, for instance, the new tenant coming in would want to paint it green.
Come to us and we have to be consistent.
Right.
Yeah,
I think personally, having the whole building the same and then your individual signage with your colors is more pleasing.
and less likely to create a conflict.
Yes, that too.
And that brings us back to the signage. Last year, we talked about a Wells Fargo in Contra Costa. It had the same kind of tone of yellow building. They wanted to do a white sign. We had moved it to red with a white background. And if you drive by, it's just, right by the mall. You drive by, that red pops so much better with this yellow tone building versus the white color with the red.
Okay.
And I think that might be the compromise for the branding again, is the red sign with white lettering, muted framing, muted trim.
Yeah, the white on yellow did not look good on the Wells
Yeah.
Fargo.
The red, if you drive by just down the street, it pops really well now. They already finished it.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It's over at near Nordstrom Rack,
Ah,
Safeway down
Burger
there.
King.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
where it is.
Well, we talked ourselves into going back to the original color scheme. But with the signage changes as you've proposed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I don't even know, I don't know that it needs to go the original color scheme if you want a new, fresh. I mean, I think you guys are painters, you know what to do and you know what colors look good with these tones.
Mhm.
And it would be, of course, between you and the landlord, but I think a more natural muted tone would be better.
But what was approved I'm guessing that ARC approved the old color scheme at some point. So, I mean, would we run into a problem there? It would have to go, I'm
Back.
guessing it would have to go back to what it was, or else they'd have to be back for a different color approval.
Right.
I mean, there's options of how you want to, if that's the area you want to go, there's options of how to phrase a condition of approval. If you're comfortable with staff reviewing a final color in kind of a general parameter of tones, colors, things like that, we can write the condition
Yeah,
that way.
okay.
If you wanted it to come back, definitely can. The other piece that I think would be helpful for staff to understand is if it is a different color than what was there, is it just for this building, this tenant space, or the entire building, that you would want that color applied to?
I mean, I think we've landed on the whole building. The building should match. There should be one color scheme.
I agree.
Okay.
Are you guys are open to a red background on the signage?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's not a problem. I think I get why you would want
Yeah.
that and why you're saying that. Because if you look at the picture right now, do you have the picture with the Vista sign, the white Vista sign? I think I did give you one of those. Right there, yeah. It does kind of get washed out where you can't really see it. But yeah,
The
I
under
get it.
angles.
Flip flop it. Yeah.
Well, I think that addresses everything, right? So if the signs are flip-flopped,
Yes.
the building is returned to the original color scheme or something.
An
Like-
agreed color
yeah.
that the staff can approve.
Yeah.
So the way the condition approval is written right now is condition 1.2. And it says applicant shall repaint the exterior red trim a more muted neutral color as recommended by the ARC on all 3 elevations. So if there was any additions to that or clarifications, we could amend that condition.
So it's important. I mean, it's either we're saying return it to the original, which is easy.
Yes. Or have the whole building have the
Yeah,
same trim.
We can't say 3 sides. I mean, it has to address the entirety of the building. Yeah, repaint a consistent color across the entire building. What, similar to, how do you want to
Yes.
phrase this? The
Mhm.
original color scheme?
Okay.
With staff can approve.
Yeah.
What if that, I would remove that.
Okay.
I know we're almost done with this. I'm just gonna say this. If that cabinet sign becomes red, gets flipped and it's on a red, if the cabinet's red and the sign face is red, are we okay with that? Just making sure.
Yes, I am. It would.
Okay.
I would be okay with it. I think black is an acceptable color, and especially if the smaller sign is black, it might tie that black around the corner.
See that? Sure. I like it black. Yeah.
Okay. Red or black, or are we dictating black?
Red or
Okay.
Yeah.
We're good with either.
I'm good with either.
Red or
one.
black for the cabinet.
Mhm.
And I think for ease, I would probably just return it to its original colors to the building. I mean,
Mhm.
it's easier to do that than to try to match something that or like, complements the existing colors on Kids and Cribs, just to paint it back to its original shade.
Okay.
That way it's all cohesively the same. And then who knows what the new tenant comes in, they might want, like you said, they might want green.
And then the
Well-
building can hire you to paint it all.
No, they don't get it, because then we'd be in the same.
Right.
Same boat,
Then
yeah.
they'd be here instead.
Yeah. Okay, so return to the original colors, black or red cabinet, flip-flop the colors of the signs to make red the background.
Mhm.
Could I also just clarify, is that for the cabinet sign, the Contra Costa Boulevard facing sign, as well as the monument sign? All three flip to a red background.
The monument is in the back. It's very hard to
It's
see.
very unknown.
I
yeah.
would leave it to the tenant to whatever they want to do. It's white. The rest of the signs there, I think, are white on that. So I don't have a strong opinion is my
There's only
opinion.
one other sign, right? I mean, is
Yeah,
there even a
it's-
Kids and Cribs sign on that one?
There is, it's
Yeah.
very little, and currently the Kelly Moore is not a sign, they're raised letters that say Kelly
Yeah.
Moore up off the cement monument thing, yeah. Yeah, if you were driving down the street, you probably wouldn't even notice that it was there.
I drove by it to get out of the traffic
Yeah.
an hour ago. I didn't look at it. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine either way. Yeah. White or red, I guess, backing
Mhm.
on that one.
I am too.
So just to clarify, the second discussion item was whether there should be a backer panel on that monument sign as well, because the existing letters are not, they don't have a backer panel. So to reface it, it would be like for like, which would be individual channel letters raised. But they are proposing a panel on the monument sign, so that would be different. Just wanted to clarify.
Go ahead.
If the landlord doesn't have a problem with it, again, because of the location and just where it is and thinking through costs, I'm fine with a panel.
Yeah, it's a tiny monument sign back
Yeah.
there.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm fine with it also.
Okay, panel's fine.
Thank you.
That would be the exception.
Thanks for reminding us. All right. Are we good? Staff need anything, any other clarification from us?
I don't think so. I think I have it all. Do you have it all? I'm quickly rereading our conditions of approval that we're proposing just to make sure there was nothing else, and I don't see anything else.
Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I don't remember what we discussed.
No.
I'll give it a shot. I'd like to make a motion to approve, or what, it's not approve, right? It's recommend changes to the conditions that we are discussing. Or approve?
We're approving.
Or- yeah,
Okay.
We're approving.
Okay, with the conditions that we're discussing to
Recommended changes.
recommended changes.
Required changes, yeah.
To repaint the trim around the building to the original color. We approve and recommend painting or changing the signage colors on the front and side signage to a red background with a white lettering to be more compliant with our city standards. Approve to paint either black or red the trim around the backlit panel on the side, on the north side, and then the monument can be a panel to your color choice.
Very good. I second the motion. Excellent.
And just to clarify, I know it didn't make it in the motion, but it was talked about when you said white letters, that also means the red background for the signs.
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, Commissioner Brandis,
Yes.
Commissioner Weir,
Yes.
and Chair Nelson.
Yes. All right, thank you. All right. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
One more question. Do you guys offer residential services and commercial services too for painting? Sorry. Thanks. Okay, just checking.
Okay, next item is staff communications. Anything?
Nothing to report,
All right. Upcoming projects and future meetings.
just that we have meeting on December 4th.
Okay. And with that, I would say we're adjourned. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you.